Welcome back to America Right Now. A Washington state school district passing a new policy that critics say encourages administrators to factor in race when disciplining students. The Clover Park School District now using, quote, culturally responsive discipline that encourages the school staff to impose disciplinary policies according to an individual student's needs based on race. But is it legal? Also this week, new revelations of just how closely the Biden administration and CDC coordinated with teachers' unions over COVID policy has a lot of people outraged. Let's talk about this. Joining us to discuss is Alan Dershowitz, our very own legal legend and the host of the podcast, The Dersh Show. He's also the author of The Case for Colorblind Equality in an Age of Identity Politics. Welcome back, Professor. Always good to see you.
Thank you.
So, sir, race-based disciplinary regulations, is it constitutional? Is it legal?
I hope not. I hope the Supreme Court in the Harvard University case, which will be decided in the next few months, will finally say Martin Luther King's dream of judging people based on their quality of their character rather than the color of their skin is now a constitutional mandate of the Equal Protection Clause. Look, individuals can take color into account, can take race into account, but the government must be race neutral, race blind. The government must be colorblind. You cannot have governmentally authorized disciplinary policies which take race into account. You can take poverty into account, you can take culture into account, but why should a wealthy, upper middle class black student be treated better than a poor, working class white person? You can take into account individual characteristics, but race is a very bad and unconstitutional, in my view, surrogate for these other personalized factors.
All right. The Biden administration this week, Professor, endorsed sex change medications and surgeries for children. Now, what that says to me is that taxpayer funding for this in some fashion will start. It'll start going toward these abhorrent procedures on minors. If the administration or any government entity does that, on what grounds can taxpayers or anybody sue to try to stop it?
I don't think they can really stop it. I mean, the government can decide what's a health benefit. I know two people whose grandchildren changed genders, and it made them very happy. Look, if the government were to pay for circumcision, which is a religious right, that would be one thing. But for the government to pay for an extremely controversial sex change, I don't think there's a constitutional basis for challenging that. I don't know what the provision of the Constitution would be that would find that unconstitutional, as long as it's not based on religion. And, you know, people aren't being made to do anything. They're just being paid to do it. And we pay taxes for a lot of things we disapprove of, and it's never been a basis that taxpayers don't like something. So I don't think there would be a basis for challenging it. Politically, there'd be a basis for challenging it, but not constitutionally.
All right, it'll be interesting to see how this develops because the left seems to be all in on this gender fluidity stuff. This week, new memos and emails between the CDC and the nation's largest teachers unions reinforce the influence that interest groups have on government decision-making. A lot of folks seeing, particularly over COVID, that government and big tech or government and these unions, they almost have sort of a symbiotic relationship. And I know a lot of people are outraged about that. But let's ask the legal question. Is there anything legally that can be done to try to reduce that influence?
I don't think so. I mean, the government has a policy. And by the way, it was the Trump administration that had the same policy to do everything we can to offset the horrors of COVID. And if that means working together with teachers' unions, working together with non-governmental entities, with corporations, that seems like a legitimate police power function of the state. And because COVID crosses boundaries, interstate boundaries, probably is constitutional under the Commerce Clause. There might be challenges, but I don't think the challenges would succeed as long as, again, it's not based on invidious factors, religion, race, etc. Governmental policies are approved generally. There's broad power of Congress. It also may be unconstitutional for the president to do it or a governor to do it. One big issue in the whole approach to COVID is too much authority has been vested in executives and not enough in legislatures. Legislatures should be making these decisions.
That's a very important point, and I agree with you there. All right, I have to leave it there. Professor Alan Dershowitz, thank you so much for being with us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.